Sister Lisa has the giggles already. Here we go. Oh, shit.
I'm just imagining you having to edit out like half of this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
It's just like...
Put your headphones on.
You're just like, oh, excuse her. She's not feeling well.
That's why I got you your medicine.
Oh my God.
Pull it down.
I'm pulling it
There
down.
we go. Guess what?
Take a bite.
All right.
No, okay.
Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, dude.
Are you sure?
I'm fine.
Let's get to chatting.
All right. Hello and welcome back to Siblings in Zion.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Dan.
It's just a casual
Super
Sunday
cash.
evening.
It is Sunday.
Our favorite day.
It is the Sabbath, depending on what you believe in. Not if you're Seventh-day Adventist or Jewish
Nope.
or anything,
Yeah.
because it's not a real thing.
It's not real.
Best. So today, Lisa is being introduced to spiced rum for
Yeah.
the first time.
It's
What do you
lovely.
think?
It's great. I really like this ginger beer
Yeah.
spiced rum experience.
Cool.
It's really great.
It's really great.
I had the googles even before I started drinking it, so we'll see what happens.
So here we go.
Oh, God.
All right. So last episode, we talked about the initiatory,
Yeah.
washing, anointing. We played clips of the stupid ass movie.
Right. We talked about the endowment experience. We didn't quite finish.
So we got up to getting your handshakes.
Right. We didn't talk about the prayer circle, did we?
No, is that part of that whole experience?
It is. Yes.
Oh, I thought that was like a separate thing.
No. So, like, after everyone has received all of the signs and tokens, then you are invited to participate in the prayer circle. Couples are invited. And it's always kind of like awkward.
It has to be a couple?
Yeah, it has to be. Well, it has to be a man and a woman. Most of the time, it's a married couple.
Sure.
That, like, because you have to volunteer to go up there. They don't ask you. And so sometimes no one wants to go up. So they're just like, we need some
So
couples.
anyone will do.
Anybody. I think it has to be at least 6, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while.
To do what?
It has to be 6 couples to form the circle.
Right. To do what?
You make all of the signs and tokens in the circle. It's kind of like a summary of what you've just been doing. And that's when all the women have to please
Wear a veil?
veil their faces. Yeah. So if you're in the circle, you veil, and you're holding your partner by the patriarchal grip,
Yeah.
and your elbow
On their
is
shoulder.
on their shoulder. And then you make all the signs, and then the temple guy, kneels at the altar, and he's got like a list of names. You know, when people go to the temple and they put in a name, that's where it's going, so that it can be prayed over.
How many times is my name?
1 billion
been on
and
the
a
payroll?
half. Yeah. Both of ours are now.
Yeah.
Constantly. So he says a prayer and he will say one sentence and then
Everyone repeats it.
everyone in the circle repeats it. If you're in the audience, you're just sitting there. And if you're a woman, you're also veiled in the audience. All women in the room have to be veiled.
Is that the only time you veil your face?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
It's supposed to be like symbolic of coming into the presence of God. Because
Oh, you wouldn't want them to see you.
no. That doesn't make any sense. It's like there's something I remember learning about it in my Old Testament class. Something about showing that you're prepared to enter the presence of God. Like having your slippers on, having your veil on, or the men wear the hat. Like it's a sign of respect. But we all know that that's a bunch of bullshit. So It doesn't make any sense.
But we all know.
But if the guy, if he goes on for too long, like if he says too long of a sentence and people can't remember, they're just like,
So there are a few
other videos of that.
videos of this.
Yeah, it's creepy.
And one of the biggest signifiers to me, especially when I saw these for the first time.
How would you feel if you had to go up there?
I have to believe that I would feel like a fraud.
Right.
Because there's no way I would have been like, yep, this
makes
all
sense.
It all adds up.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a cult at all.
Theoretically, dad would have been sitting next to you and then you would have gone in the prayer circle with mom. That would have been how that worked for your first temple experience.
Well,
yeah.
The aprons. It's so stupid.
There's like 2 different kinds of aprons too. There's like the dark green and then the lighter green, depending on what generation you bought them in.
Come on up.
And then like a sister will volunteer, but she doesn't have a husband there with her.
Yeah.
So like she has to wait until somebody volunteers.
Steps forward.
God. I want my sister. With your robe on the right shoulder, you are prepared to participate in the prayer circle.
If any of you have unkind feelings towards any member of this circle,
it's a hilarious
you are
part.
invited to withdraw, so that the spirit
Has anyone ever done that? Like,
Not that I know of.
I better sit down
Because I hate
Kathy
that
is
guy.
a bitch.
Fucking hate her. God.
You will begin by making the sign of the first token of the Aaronic priesthood. This is done by bringing the right arm to
So this particular video is hidden camera footage of a Mormon temple prayer circle, Gilbert, Arizona, June 2016.
This is the sign.
Oh my God.
The name of this token is the new name received in the temple today.
That's just a voiceover. Like
Yeah.
you're just listening
Nobody's
to a
talking.
recording.
The sign of the second token of the Aaronic priesthood. This is done by bringing the right hand in front of you with the hand in cup and shade.
Don't you feel ridiculous
Yeah, but
looking like this?
Yep.
Being raised
Oh my
to
God.
square.
Oh God. I went to the temple with the Mormon boy I dated, and we went in the prayer circle together.
What?
If you are going
Yeah,
to the temple
check
for
that
your
shit
own
out.
endowment.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
if you are going through for the dead.
And it was like right after that, I was like, nope,
The person
we're ending this.
We will now make
You just
the
feel
sign
so
of the
silly.
first token of the Melchizedek priesthood, or sign of the name. This is done by bringing the left hand in front of you, with the hand in cupping shape. The left arm forming a square. The right hand is also brought forward, the palm down, the fingers close together, with the thumb extended. This is the sign.
And if the guy's super tall, you're like
This token is the
reaching
sign.
to put your elbow up there.
of God. We will now make the sign of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood.
Why?
The patriarchal grid.
What is this for?
I don't know.
This is done by raising both hands high above
To
the
fill
head,
time?
and while lowering
Oh,
the hand,
this is the most cult shit.
the words,
Yes. Yep.
Oh God.
Oh God. Hear the words of my mouth.
Oh God.
Anyone
Hear the words
who has never seen this before, who has never done this themselves, looks at this and
of my mouth.
how do you not see a
It's
cult?
so many red
We
flags.
have here a list of names of persons who are sick or otherwise afflicted.
With apostasy.
I have an ailment. It's apostasy.
They're full of strong drink.
Oh,
You don't want to be the
no.
asshole coughing in the temple.
No. Shut up.
Each brother in the circle will take the sister at his left by the right hand in the patriarchal grip.
In the patriarchal grip. I hated that because like their pointer finger touches your wrist.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Why?
Why did I hate it
Yeah.
or why did we do it?
Why? Well, why did you hate it?
I just have like it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Huh.
Like I don't like needles. I don't like the idea of like knives touching like
Yeah.
people like slit their wrists and that just freaked me
People
out.
do that.
And I just like the fingers touching the wrist. It just I don't like it. It's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird phobia. But
The prayer circle is not first before you go to the veil and learn your signs.
Yeah, it's before that.
What? Well, what if you never done that before? That's what he says at the beginning.
You're practicing, I guess. It's just like more practice.
So you do this before you get the presentation of...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird.
Because you just received all of them.
From who?
Throughout the whole endowment ceremony. That's what they're doing. It's like, you watch the video and then they're like, okay, we would now like you to receive the first token of the Aaronic priesthood.
Yeah, so they
then
they show the veil.
No.
Right? No?
No. So like way before that, like very beginning, like the first room you go in that represents the celestial kingdom. You're all sitting there, you watch the beginning of the movie, then it pauses and you like put on your robes and your apron. Actually, you put on the apron
Lucifer
first,
says something about the apron.
Right. And then they're like, so it's periodic that you get the signs and tokens. And there's a couple, like a witness couple, that receives it. So you can watch. And then a temple worker will go to each and every person and give you the signs and tokens. And then you move to the terrestrial room, if there is one, if the temple's big enough, and you receive more information. And it's while you're in the terrestrial room that after you've received all the signs and tokens, you do the prayer circle. And then you all go through the veil one by one, and then you go into the celestial room.
So there's a presentation at the veil where the guy does a mock presentation of arriving at the veil, doing the 3 knocks.
He's got his little like expandable pointer. Yeah.
And he shows you the marks in the veil, which represent the marks on your garments.
Right. And if I remember correctly, that's right after the prayer circle.
Okay. I think I have a video.
Which is always the most boring part.
I think this was filmed around the same time.
I hated sitting through that.
The sisters will unveil their faces, and the brethren and sisters in the circle will return to their seat.
Oh, so this is right after the prayer circle.
Yeah, it's like immediately. Yeah. It's like, okay, we've received this information 3 times now.
We will now uncover the veil.
The veil. Dun, dun, dun.
So this one is hidden camera footage of a Mormon temple ritual. Both of these are on
Brethren and sisters,
New Name Noah's YouTube channel.
So he went to separate temples?
Oh, yeah.
I want to explain the marks on the veil. These 4 marks are the marks of the holy priesthood, and corresponding marks are found in your individual garment. On the right is the mark of the square. It is placed in the garment over the right breast, suggesting to the mind exactness and honor in keeping the covenants entered into this day.
It's a deep voice.
Yeah.
On the left is the mark of the compass. It is placed in the garment over the left breast, suggesting to the mind an undeviating course leading to eternal
Suggesting to the mind.
life. A constant reminder that desires
Reminding you that you are being controlled.
Be kept within the bounds the Lord has set, and that all truth may be circumscribed into one great whole. This is the navel mark. It is placed in a garment over the navel, suggesting to the mind the need of constant nourishment to body.
Just in case you forget to eat shit.
Yeah.
This is the knee.
Always got to read your scriptures.
Placed in the right leg of the garment.
Nourish your spirit.
Over the kneecap, suggesting that every knee shall bow.
Knee shall bow.
And every
Tongue confess that Jesus is the Christ. Oh, Jesus is in all of this Masonic bullshit.
Oh, look at that.
Through this one, the person representing the Lord puts forth his right hand to test our knowledge of the tokens of
that mark is never actually over the knee, though.
Through the one
But it's at the bottom of the garment.
Right.
Certain questions. Through the one on the left, we give our answer. As all of you will have to pass through the veil, we will show you how this is to be done.
Oh, boy.
The person
We will show
So
you.
you arrive at the veil the first time.
Yeah.
And you were hearing about somebody poking their hand through, reaching out for your tokens and signs. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to say. And when you go through for the first time, you have like a special name tag on. And everyone knows it's your first time.
Everyone knows you're a newbie.
Right. So there's like...
That you're freaked out.
Right. There's always someone there standing next to you. And depending on how many times you've gone through, they're there to help you recite it. If you've done it enough and you don't need their help, they just kind of stand there and they're like, Eve, having been true and faithful, desires further light knowledge. So that first time, I just parroted everything that woman was whispering to me in my ear.
That's how you build a testimony.
That's right. Patterns. And then you go through the veil and walk down the hall, and then you're in this luster room. And your first time, they make you wait until everyone else has gone through so that they're waiting for you. So that it symbolizes like returning to God, being with your family forever. And I go in there and there's like all my family except you, obviously. And then like my really close friends and people from the congregation that we attended my entire life.
Were all in the temple session with you?
Everyone, but yeah, everyone that had come for that purpose had been through the whole session with me and then was waiting for me. And I think that it's supposed to be more spiritual. Like, I thought that I was like going to cry, but I walked out there and I just felt like, did I miss something? Like, was I supposed to learn something in there?
I think that's pretty common.
What just happened? And they're like, it'll make more sense later. When you've done it like 1,000 times, it'll be like, oh, this feels normal, at least.
It doesn't mean it makes sense.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I don't see how you could go through that and then leave the temple thinking, I'm definitely going to do this a whole bunch more.
I definitely did do that a whole bunch more. I mean,
Most people do.
I went through in March. I went on my mission in April. You're not allowed to really, depending on your mission. I wasn't allowed to go to the temple on my mission.
How come?
It was outside of our mission area.
Of course.
So
the
like
boundaries.
It was in Orlando. And it was outside.
Next to Disney.
Yeah.
The other theme park.
Bible World. Oh, you can stay in a tomb and they reenact the crucifixion of Christ at this theme park.
What the fuck?
I know. Yeah, it might actually be called the Holy Land. I can't remember, but you drive past it on the way to the temple. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Only in Florida. But yeah, so after I got home, I went like every week for at least a year.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, imagine grandma at 90. How many fucking times has she gone through that?
And she's seen it change several times.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even our parents have seen it change several times. So, yeah. I'm really glad you never had to do that.
Me too.
What a waste of time.
But didn't Joseph set it up to be the new and everlasting covenant, and that it was...
The new and everlasting covenant is specifically this sealing, which we haven't talked about.
But
the marriage ordinance.
But the ordinances were supposed to be unchanging.
Yeah, you got a point there.
There's probably something about that in this handy
dandy
printed copy of the CES letter. So if anyone is unaware, the link to Freemasonry is astounding.
What is it, a 33-degree Mason?
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
He became a master Mason in like an extraordinarily short amount of time comparatively to others. I don't know how. I don't know how. They're like, let's just...
The express course.
Let's just get him out of here. He introduced the endowment ceremony in May 1842, having been initiated to Freemasonry in March.
And it's
a total coincidence, I'm sure.
Very clear.
But even President Kimball, Heber C. Kimball, is quoted as saying, "We have the true Masonry. The Masonry of today is received from the apostasy which took place in the days of Solomon and David. They have now and then a thing that is correct, but we have the real thing."
What?
For a long time, they tried to link Freemasonry to the building of Solomon's temple. But in actuality, it doesn't go back nearly that far. There's nothing to do with that.
That's so bizarre. I thought that the only information that I had ever learned about Freemasonry was from National Treasure. A stupid movie with Nicolas Cage. Like, that was my education about Freemasonry. Yeah. So, like, when you sent me that video about the comparisons between the Masonic initiation ceremony.
Yeah.
And the temple rituals, I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It can only be traced back to medieval times.
I felt so duped.
And they have removed some parts that were directly ripped off from Masonry, like the blood
ones?
oath penalty.
So that was like
to
word for word.
Swearing, basically you swear that rather than say anything you learned in the temple that day, that you would suffer your life.
Slit your throat.
Yep. Rip out your tongue from its roots. And disembowel your guts.
What's alarming is if that had still been put in there, who knows if I would have even been...
Would you have been shaken then?
If it would have even phased me. You know?
I would hope so.
You would certainly hope so. I mean, you make some pretty heavy promises as it is now.
Yeah. You still swear that you're not going to talk about it.
Right.
You just don't mime your own death.
Yeah. Now they're just like, it's not secret, it's sacred.
Yeah.
It's too special. I just don't understand. Like you read that quote about how they said, we have the true Masonry. Like what? How does that make any sense? How would the other Freemasons have learned the same exact?
Yeah. Why would you need it? What does that have to do with anything?
Like,
what does that have to do with Jesus?
What? If those other Masons don't have the priesthood of God, why would God have revealed that information to them? What? Before he revealed it to Joseph Smith.
Right.
Like, what?
He's just setting it up, man, line by line.
Just don't understand.
Stage 1. My throat be cut from ear to ear and my tongue torn out by its roots. Our breasts be torn apart, our hearts and vitals torn out and given to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. Our body be cut asunder and all your bowels gush out.
You're shitting me.
And you mime.
That's what they had to say?
Yeah. But miming it too. Dragging your thumb along your throat and along your gut. So cool.
I am over it.
An oath of an entered apprentice mason. I will never reveal any part or parts, art or arts, point or points of the secret art and mysteries of ancient Freemasonry, binding myself under no less penalty than to have my throat cut across, my tongue torn out by its roots. This is given, and then there's guidance says this is given by drawing your right hand across your throat, the thumb next to your throat.
And that's in the Masonic ceremony.
Yeah, all of that is very closely
worded
the same.
Paste.
Yeah. And then the 5 points of fellowship, which they don't do anymore. They took that out. There was big changes in 1990. So when our parents went through in the 80s, they did this.
They did the 5 points of fellowship.
Mm-hmm. And the blood oath.
I forgot what the 5 points of fellowship are.
The Masonry removed the blood oath as well.
They did?
Around the same time, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That was seriously, I don't know why, but it was just one of the most jarring pieces of information that I learned.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring. All this sacred shit in the temple that's supposed to be worth all this time and paying 10% of your earnings to be able to go and receive.
Get that top secret information. Nope.
Nope.
Don't make no sense.
5 points of fellowship are inside of the right foot, by the side of the right foot, knee to knee, breast to breast, hand to back, and mouth to ear.
Oh, right. It's like a handshake of sorts.
Yeah.
A greeting?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you would label it?
I think so.
At first,
and they did all
when
that shit.
you said the inside of the foot, I was like, are these some kind of like chakras? Like,
No.
what are we doing here?
Just touching each other. And that's why people were so uncomfortable.
Right. It's very close.
I mean, we don't need to get into all the ways that the LDS temple ceremony is incredibly Masonic in nature. But to know that and to still believe that it's all necessary and true, I don't understand.
Yeah, that doesn't line up. What percentage of people do you think know that?
Probably not that many. People are ignorant of a lot of this stuff.
Right.
If they really, truly want to keep believing
Yeah.
anything that comes from outside,
I sure was.
they'll just blow it off. Yeah, well, maybe it is a little bit Masonic, but we got the true shit.
Well,
So,
I mean,
hey,
so that's
God's
all
ways
that
and not our
matters.
ways. Yeah, all that matters is it's the one true church, and I don't really care how it gets that way.
Right? It just is.
Well, you should.
End
Okay.
of story.
So let's hear some more about these.
To this point, and the worker gives 3 distinct taps with the mallet,
The theatrics of this
I know.
are so ridiculous.
I know.
whereupon the Lord...
I don't understand why it has to be so
What is wanted?
monotonous,
Having
so
been true and
monotone.
faithful in all things, desire
It sounds
for divine
spiritual.
knowledge,
Right?
conversing with the Lord
Spiritual
through the veil.
voice.
Present him at the veil, and his request
So
shall be
you knock
granted.
on, you give it a rap, and
Hello.
Jesus is like, yes, what's up? What do you need?
Well, hello.
This guy's here. He wants to learn a little more, some further light knowledge, if you will.
If
And he was
you
just
please.
wondering if he can get that from you today. Send him on up and let me stick my hand through this veil and see if he knows what's what.
What's what?
So stupid.
Ow.
The person is then brought to this point, whereupon the Lord puts forth his right
The
hand.
Lord. So this is supposed to be
It is the first
Jesus.
token of the
Yep.
Aaronic priesthood.
But it's just a guy.
And asks,
What is that?
What is
So
that?
he shows you
token of the Aaronic priesthood.
You do
the
it.
first
You do
handshake.
it. Yeah.
And he's like, do you know what this
What
is?
is that? Huh?
What is this? What is this, tough guy?
It is.
Is it a name?
It has,
What's it called?
It's just
though?
such a stupid conversation.
I will through the veil. The person
It's insane.
then gets through the veil the name of this token.
Does it have a
which is the
name?
new name received
What
in
kind, what kind of
the
question is that?
So then you got to break the handshake and then do it the next one.
Right.
Of the Aaronic priesthood and asks.
And what is that one?
The second
Does it
token
have a
of the
name?
Aaronic priesthood.
What is it, though?
It has.
It has.
Will you give it to me?
I will through the
The
veil.
visual of this is
The person
astonishing.
gives the name of this token, which is his first given name if he is going through the temple for his own endowment, or if he is going through for the dead.
It doesn't make any sense why that sign would have the name of that person.
Of course not.
It has what?
So first you give your new
700
name and then you
billion
give
names.
the name that you were known by?
Priesthood or sign of the nail.
Yeah.
And asks,
What is that?
the first token of the Melchizedek priesthood or sign of the nail.
Has it a name?
Yeah, duh.
Has it a
Jesus,
name?
you know this.
I will through
You
the
made
veil.
it up.
The person then gives the name of this token, which is the Son, meaning the Son of God.
Not the bright
The
burning
Lord
ball of
gives the
gas
second token of the Melchizedek priesthood,
in our
the
galaxy.
patriarchal grip or sure sign of the nail, and asks,
What is that?
the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood.
Or
the
sure
patriarchal grip
sign of the
or
nail.
sure
You got to do
sign of
4
the nail.
handshakes.
Yep.
Has it a name?
And they're all pretty similar.
Will you give it to me?
I cannot.
I don't know this one.
I have not yet received it.
For this purpose I have come to
Through the
converse
veil.
with the Lord through the veil.
You shall receive it.
You shall receive it through the
This is the
veil.
worst.
It is received as left arms are placed upon right
This-
shoulders.
okay, so
through
this
the veil.
part-
That's more
The
like
Lord
the
then
5-point
gives-
This
fellowship.
replaces the 5 points of
Okay.
fellowship.
So before, was this when it was the
Yep.
5 points? Oh my goodness.
Foot to foot,
It sounds like the hokey pokey.
knee to knee, breast to breast. Yeah, duh, good point.
You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out,
Put your tits on my tits.
and you shake it all about.
Okay, so this is, I can't believe that you have to repeat this fucking mouthful of
Yep.
word salad bullshit.
A word salad.
Token and asks,
What is that?
the second token of the
So
Melchizedek
repetitive.
priesthood, the patriarchal grip or sure sign of the nail.
Has it a name?
It hath.
Will you give it to me?
I will through the veil.
So you switch dialogue at
The
that point.
person
Yeah.
then repeats back to the Lord the name of this token as he received it, whereupon the Lord said,
That is correct.
That is correct.
the person is again...
Oh, so you don't
You don't
hear
get to
that
hear
until
it.
you go up to it.
Right.
Okay,
Because
well,
he'll
let's do
tell
that.
you. I fast forward.
The Lord parts the veil and asks,
What is wanted?
Adam, having conversed with the Lord through the veil, desires now to enter his presence. The Lord puts forth his right hand, takes the person by the right hand, and says,
Let him enter.
he is admitted into the presence of the Lord. We will now...
Finally.
I mean, it's better than going through once for yourself.
yeah.
But think about the person who has to stand next to you and help all 50 to 100 people that are in that session and listen to that over and over and over again. This is the name of the token. Health in the navel. Marrow in the bones.
Marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinew. All this be upon me and upon my posterity.
See if I can find a cleaner audio.
Health
of that.
in the navel. Marrow in the bones. Strength in the loins and in the sinews. Power in the priesthood be upon me and my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity.
Derp-a-derp-a-derp.
Pretty sure I just got an A+ on that. I can still get into heaven, guys. It's okay. I'm good.
I'll remember.
I'm all good. Spirit brings back remembrance of all things. So even if I forget, doesn't
That's
matter.
okay.
I'll have a bright recollection of all my guilt and the temple ceremony.
Yeah, so the transcript of the endowment ceremony at ldsendowment.org has the original with the 5 points of fellowship.
There's
and
an
stuff written in.
ldsendowment.org.
Oh yeah, dude. It has transcripts of the whole thing.
That's fascinating. That sounds like the church produced it. ldsendowment.org.
Right.
If the church became that transparent, I think the world would be over. I think that's what that would mean.
I think initially the 5 points of fellowship was the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood.
Oh.
That's what's according to this.
Oh.
I have not received it yet. For this purpose I have come to converse with the Lord through the veil. You shall receive it upon the 5 points of fellowship through the veil. Then you do the knee to knee, breast to breast,
Do the hokey pokey.
blah, blah. And the Lord says, what is that? Second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip, or sure sign of the nail. Has it a name? Yes. The Lord, will you give it to me? And it should, I will, upon the 5 points of fellowship through the veil. That is correct. And you get into heaven. Good job.
Wow.
Very, very good job.
Wow.
I'm trying to find the new one, though. You already said it.
It's not that long. Can you imagine if you and I just said it at family dinner or something?
Bless this food that it will give us health in the navel, marrow in the
my
bones, strength in
God.
the loins and in the sinew.
Like if Dad asks you to give the prayer or something, and then you just go into that. What? What did you just say?
Hey, whoa, dude.
I think that they would rather hear you be like, fuck!
Fuck this shit.
It would be less offensive
You think so?
for their ears. Definitely. They would
Fuck.
shit themselves.
They would be literally shitting themselves.
Literally.
So when you went through and you get to the celestial room after that, was it even more disappointing and empty because you didn't have your whole family there waiting for you?
You mean after it was my first time?
Yeah.
And I went back. Yeah, it's weird after that because it's just a room.
Did it again. Hey, everybody, we did it again.
Hey, cool. I would usually go with no, I went by myself a lot. But if I
Wow.
went with,
Fucking nerd.
I know. If I went with some of my roommates, because I think at one point I lived in an apartment at school where all of us were endowed, except for one.
Loser.
Yeah. Well, then she got married and so she got endowed.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Oh, good
course.
for her. Finally.
Yeah. I can never see you wearing garments.
Oh,
Oh my God.
me either.
That would be the worst.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if we talked about this
Because it's the worst.
before, but when you're initially shown the veil and you learn what the marks are on that literal veil cloth
Right.
that represents the marks on your garments, I always thought, for 30 years, I did not know what those were on our parents' garments. I thought that they had to sew them up or something because they've been wearing them so long.
Because there were holes. Only in those places.
There was thread sewn in into the shape of, there's the half square.
right. The compass, the triangle, almost. Well,
The right angle.
yeah, there's the right angle, and then there's like a V.
Yeah.
And then the one on your stomach is just a line. And then the one on your knee is just a horizontal line.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever saw the knee one.
Yeah.
I remember mostly seeing the V.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, they must really wear this shit out. I had no idea that that's what that was.
I didn't either. I don't know what I thought it was. I mean, mom and dad still just walk around in their garments all the time. It's pretty common.
Yep.
And I just thought it was so normal because
It
that's what
always
they
looked
wore.
weird to me. I couldn't imagine myself wearing them, even when I was a kid. Like, really?
That's
Am I
so
going to
funny.
wear this stupid
Really?
shit all
I
the
mean,
time?
they used to be one piece, which was
Right.
even worse.
Head to toe.
Well, in the early
beginning.
church, yeah. No. We could talk about the ceiling if you want.
The ceiling?
Mhm.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. I told you that the first time I did that was with Dad.
Yeah, I think so.
And the altar is at such an angle that your feet fall asleep. So a lot of people,
So you're kneeling down.
right, if you've been kneeling down for quite a while, you'll get up and faint because the blood just has been drained from your brain, and then you stand up and I almost
Whoa.
did the first time. I was like, I gotta go get some water.
So you've performed proxy sealings.
Yeah,
For the
I've
dead.
performed proxy sealings. It's the only ordinance that you can do that you haven't, even if you haven't done it for yourself.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I've been sealed to my,
you've been sealed to your
which
parents.
is now null and void, but
Yeah.
we were sealed to our
Whoops.
parents, but I've never, obviously never been sealed to a husband, but I can still act as proxy as a wife and a child,
Right.
but only for your gender, obviously.
Duh.
Yeah, you can do that with perfect strangers. You can just go to the temple, go to the sealing room, and say, I'm here to do sealings
Again,
with a bunch of strangers.
proxy shit just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Even if you worked night and day
Right.
indefinitely,
Yeah.
you would never cover everyone who's lived and not heard the gospel. It's impossible.
And have you heard the sealing, blessing? Because it's even
Probably.
more stupid than
Do you remember it?
than that. I don't. It's that forgettable. With all the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or something like
Oh,
that.
here we go. By virtue
that
of the
in there?
holy priesthood and the authority vested in me, I pronounce you such and such and such and such, legally and lawfully husband and wife for time and all eternity. I seal upon you the blessings of the holy resurrection, with power to come forth in the morning of the first resurrection, clothed in glory, immortality, and eternal lives. I seal upon you the blessings of kingdoms, thrones, principalities, powers, dominions, and exaltations, with all the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and
There
Jacob.
it is.
And say unto you, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the
Curse.
earth, that you may have joy and rejoicing in the day of our Lord Jesus Christ.
See, what the fuck is that? Have babies, and you'll have kingdoms, dominions, and principalities.
The injunction to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth is omitted in a vicarious sealing for the dead. Is that true?
I don't remember
Of
that
course,
part.
because
so.
you wouldn't be telling. I mean,
Hey,
like
have
if you did
kids.
a sealing
Right.
with you and our dad,
Mm-hmm.
that would just be too weird. That would just be too weird.
It was already weird. It's already too weird. Oh my God. I just had flashbacks to
Are you
when
triggered?
I used to clean the temple.
Ugh.
Because, you're obviously not paid to do that. So, every
Obviously.
Monday night.
You pay to do that.
Exactly. That's the worst part. Every Monday night, the temple's closed. You can't go.
Oh wow.
And what they're doing is they're cleaning it. They're raking the celestial room carpet with a rake. A metal rake.
Why?
Footprints.
Would not. Oh, it's not about dirt. It's
No.
about presentation.
Yeah.
Holy
but there
shit.
are industrial vacuums that they vacuum every
Oh,
room
yeah.
with.
Big bad boys.
Yeah. It's just so
Fuck, man.
tedious. And it takes hours.
Yeah.
And they just rotate that responsibility through all the different
That's
wards.
so dumb.
Yeah. It's really absurd. But it's kind of creepy Because no one's there.
No one's there. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just like alone in some random room in the temple.
If I could break into the temple,
God.
oh, it'd be so cool.
What would you do?
I would just...
What?
I would
just
go
look
into
at all of
every
it.
room I could.
Oh my God.
That'd be so cool. I was thinking, unless the church accepts gay and lesbian people as full members of the church who can do all the same things, just like they finally did with African American people.
Right.
If they don't do that, then they will not grow. They will continue to shrink.
That's a good assessment.
The population that lives in the open has continued to grow in the real world.
Right.
And if they are not accepted by their faith that they're born into or would like to participate in or what have you, if that's not an option, not only will there will be more and more people that just aren't allowed, there will be more and more people who will leave because those people aren't allowed.
Right.
Because they'll know people and love people who are those people.
Right. That'll be a huge barrier for the church.
Yeah, and it is.
It is already.
And it will continue to be. They're going to receive more and more pressure to do something of acceptance. And the more they don't, the worse they look.
Yeah.
And it took years after the civil rights movement for them to finally lift the ban on quote unquote blacks in the priesthood.
Right. What was that?
Way too late. 1978.
Our dad was on his mission.
Oh, yeah.
Him and his companion were fasting for that change to happen. And then it did. And they were like, oh my God, we did it. It's all us.
Yes. High five.
Yeah.
Or more like threatening your tax exempt status. That's what makes change happen.
That is true.
Yeah.
Nothing makes the church change faster than that.
and loss of membership. Lots of people are black, dude.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to hold them back from being equal amongst the brothers and sisters without losing them. Same thing with the LGBTQ plus community. And if they don't do that, they will continue to shrink, and eventually they're going to have to sell off property.
Yeah. To make up for that loss monetarily.
If they're going to continue to exist.
Gotta stop building so many goddamn temples.
Yeah. They can't just let it sit there and pay for it.
Right.
If
to maintain
income
it
dwindles.
Yeah.
They would sell off church buildings first, and they have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's actually one for sale right now in Arizona or something.
What the hell? Who's going to buy that?
I don't know. What would you do with that? But
I guess that's just a different church?
Yeah, maybe.
Mormon chapels are so distinct, though. They all feel the same.
Yeah, especially the ones that were built up in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
they all look
just like a circle.
Alike. I don't think that they would sell the building. I think they would have to destroy the building.
Oh, you think?
They would sell the
land? Oh.
But, I mean, the temple can't be used for anything.
Oh, the temple,
else.
Sure. I thought you were talking about a church building. Sorry.
They couldn't allow somebody to own that and then open it up as some sort of museum or something. But that would be cool.
Circus.
I would.
Freak show. I mean, people can go through it in the open house. Almost all of it.
Can't see the Holy of Holies.
Well, no one can see that.
I want to see it.
I want to see what's in here. And not all temples have a Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
Do you know which ones do? I know Salt Lake does. Sure. I don't know if Portland does. Doubt it.
I don't know. Maybe Nauvoo. They probably put one in there.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
There's probably rooms that only elite members go into.
Probably.
That we don't even know to ask about.
That's true. Wherever they do the second anointing with the washing of the feet and whatnot.
And the woman gives the priesthood blessing. I wonder how many, lots of people must not know that that's a real thing.
Definitely.
If they've ever heard of it, ever.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing.
I thought she just did the washing of the feet. I didn't know that she
gives a blessing.
What does she say?
I have no idea.
Ugh.
There are accounts of it you can find.
What the hell?
So I wanted to play. I think I've sent you this video, right? The What Missionaries Don't Tell You.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The cartoon.
We've watched it before.
So I wanted to end this episode by playing this video. So this was really the catalyst for me looking into what I didn't know about the church, having never been to the temple, having stopped going to church as soon as I could, and having no desire to participate in it years before that. There's so much I didn't know. And so there's this animated video you'll find on YouTube, Mormon Secrets, What the Missionaries Don't Tell. And it's the scenario of what if missionaries were completely transparent and honest about what the church actually is
From the get-go.
to someone who they knocked on their door.
Right.
So that is what this is. So I'll read the transcript. You've likely had Mormon missionaries come to your door. They say they are Christian, come to testify of Jesus Christ. But they are hiding the truth about what they really believe. Close up of the Book of Mormon. So, question. What would it look like if the missionaries were actually honest about what they believe?
Hi.
Elder Smith, Elder Young.
Hello?
We're representatives of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Mormons.
Our prophets have sent us to deliver a message given from God.
Prophets? Message?
Yes, we're here to tell you that God appeared to the prophet Joseph Smith in 1820, and he chose Joseph to restore the truth.
He did.
Yes, God told him Christianity had become completely corrupt.
So, you guys aren't Christians then?
Oh, heavens, yes,
Heavens.
we're Christians. After all, the name of our religion is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
But you just said Christianity was all wrong.
It is, but because of Joseph Smith, we know ours is the only true church on the earth.
So, what's so bad about Christianity?
Well, you see, everything you know about God is basically wrong.
It's
First of
basically
all,
wrong.
God is not a spirit. He's a perfected man with a glorified body of flesh.
Huh?
We believe a long, long time ago, on a planet far, far away, our God
Heavenly Father.
was just like us. He was born mortal. Eventually, his efforts were rewarded, and he was exalted to godhood, joining the other millions of gods in the universe.
Millions of other gods.
Yep, maybe even billions.
He
Oh, that's
accidentally
right.
hit
Oh,
the
sorry.
kid with the Book of
As he
Mormon.
grew up, he worked hard at becoming perfect, just like all other gods did before him. Today, Heavenly Father lives on a distant planet.
Next to the star, Kolob.
He lives there with our Heavenly
At this point, I was
Mother,
like, what the fuck?
having spirit babies.
Kolob?
Wait,
That's
what?
us.
Yes, that's
I don't
us.
remember Kolob.
We all lived there as spirits before we were born. We just don't remember.
We come here to Earth to get a chance to work towards perfecting ourselves, so that we'll be worthy enough to be exalted as gods.
So, you're saying you're going to become a god?
Well, yeah, I hope so.
And just what do you mean by perfect yourselves?
Well, we have to be completely faithful and obedient to our church and its rules.
Rules?
Well, just a few. Basically, just no drinking, no smoking, no gambling or swearing, no coffee,
Or tea,
no watching rated R movies, fornication, stealing, or lying,
no shopping on Sundays,
dress modestly,
go to 3 hours of
Now
church
two.
every Sunday,
Yeah.
read the scriptures,
believe in Joseph Smith,
Believe
Get
in
baptized,
Joseph
give
Smith.
10% of your income to the church,
don't question the leaders,
serve in the church,
and most importantly, temple work.
Temples? Is that what you call your churches?
No. Temples are special buildings used only for secret ceremonies and rituals that are needed for godhood.
So, what do you do in these temples?
Well, first we get anointed as kings and priests in heaven. Then we receive special holy underwear that we must wear for the rest of our lives.
Special holy underwear?
Yes, special because they have sacred symbols on them that give us protection.
then we're given a new name, the one that we're going to be called in heaven.
Then we're taught signs and passwords called tokens.
We have to memorize them to be allowed into Heavenly Father's presence.
If we show the signs to the guardian angels and tell them the passwords, they might let us in. And if we've earned it, then we will become exalted as gods.
And can start creating and populating our own worlds.
So, just what is the secret sign and password?
We can't tell you.
We swear oaths not to talk about them.
So, they're secret.
No, they're sacred.
But you can't tell me?
Right.
Then that's a secret.
Fine, it's a sacred secret.
Fine.
So, what you're saying is the only people who become gods are Mormons. What about everyone else who died hundreds of years before your temples were even built?
Well, that's the best part.
Yeah, that's the
we do
best
all of the
part.
ceremonies on
That is
behalf
the
of those dead
best.
people, so it will count for them in the afterlife.
Yeah, we get baptized for the dead, do the signs and passwords for the dead, and even do marriage ceremonies for
Goodbye.
the dead.
Bye.
Did I say something wrong?
All
And
of
that
it.
is what led me to say, what the fuck? is all this secret handshake?
Wait, really? You thought
Shit.
that was weird?
Let's look into this. And here we are.
And subsequently inform me.
Yeah. Well, I asked you first.
That's true.
Do you know this shit?
Do you know what's going on?
How does this make sense to you?
And thus began.
And there we are. The apostates.
Wow. What if you had never found that video?
I would have eventually.
Right. It just would have been something
It would
else.
have been something else, yeah.
Because you were
Like-
doing the fundamentals.
Yeah, like I said, I kept asking myself, well, what if we did an episode where I would be the point man in explaining the doctrine of the church? It's full of holes for me.
Yeah.
I know I know the congregation level stuff, and even that I just didn't pay attention or care about most of the time. What is truly weird and definitely bullshit about it, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was just a small chunk. Then
Just the tip of the iceberg.
I started digging.
Like Joseph Smith
That's right.
digging for buried treasure.
Found it.
And it's fake.
As I watched that again, I was thinking something that just doesn't make sense. If the story is that we saw God's perfect real body and we wanted one, and the only way to do that was for him to create this world for us to come to
Right.
and gain that body. But he is an exalted man, so he had a body before.
Right. Yeah.
Then how did he have a body before?
Right. Because he lived on an earth just like ours.
Yeah. So,
I guess we must have wanted an exalted body in addition.
but he's not the OG God.
You're
He's
right.
one of many.
The original God.
So what was the purpose of, did this already happen before? If so, then why would we have to ask for it now?
Yeah. And
Wouldn't
this
that
is
be
the
the point the whole time?
And this is the moment after someone asks this question in religion class.
Yeah.
That the teacher's like, we only need to know as much as pertains to our salvation. We cannot know the mysteries.
But what?
Yeah, but seems pretty clear that it doesn't make sense.
Seems pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had very good questions about all of this
Hey, man.
shit.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds.
And they won't tell you, so you got to find it somewhere else.
Thus the internet.
All right. Well, I think that's enough for this episode. And
That about covers it.
We'll make us some fresh cocktails.
And
And
it got very dark in
come
here.
right back. Yep, we got to turn some damn lights
We
on.
gotta turn those lights on.
Thank you for listening
Thank you.
to Siblings in Zion. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye bye.